Protosses are in a weird struggle where once they get a third base, they don't really have to worry about drops in the main so much because they've covered those angles. But until they get a third base, drops in the main are a huge issue. So we see many players favoring either the Colossus or lots of warp gates quickly on this map just to be able to warp in at all the possible attack locations.
Yeah, and there's also those dynamics where Terrans end up saying, if a Protoss does end up going for Colossus to begin with, they can push with that double medevac push, and some Terrans are getting very, very kind of ballsy about stimming up and just trying to take out that Colossus. And unless your force fields are actually really on point, the Terran just says, haha, you have no AoE anymore, die, bye-bye.
Let's go ahead and introduce our players so we can step right on into this match, spawning in the top right corner. Under the color purple, his name is Brown.
Sort of anticlimactic for that damn color, but there you go. And spawning down to our bottom left-hand corner, as our red Terran, one of actually the Korean foreign favorites in general. He goes by the name of LiquidTaeja.
You know, I would probably almost always say, Taeja, you're going to be the one to win this series.
Yeah.
Almost always. But given Brown's stupendous, is that a word?
Stupendous.
Stupendous. I mean, I know. I think it's a word in the dictionary, but I mean, is that a real word? Am I allowed to use that word?
You are. It is a real word, I believe. Yes.
Wow. Given his stupendous play as of late, I'd probably have to lean a little more towards Brown, especially given that it appears that Taeja is having quite the slump in this matchup as of late.
Yeah, Taeja's not finding too much footing right now. And again, I haven't seen too much of Brown's PvT, so I can't quite comment fully on how he's going to play this out. But all I know from watching his PvP and PvZ a lot during Korean qualifiers was that he was able to take, again, a very, very wide variety of builds to punish his opponent. If he sees weakness early on, he's going to exploit it with early aggression. And that's the mark for me of a Protoss player that can go far, because you have to take those opportunities as a Protoss.
Yeah. What we're also going to see out of Brown, though, is spectacular defense. And I mean, this is a skill that all players are going to be having in as Protoss. It's all really, in my eyes, about which Protosses are best at defending, considering how many threats the player can apply in the early game. So we see the very standard Stalker plus Warp Gate research popping up right off the bat. Going to be early expanding, as is expected. And, of course, Taeja going for the early Expo.
Yeah, we have now. Will Taeja be able to block this Expo for at any period of time? He does not get the block. That was very, very close, but Brown gets that Nexus down. And for now, he's just going to stabilize into a standard macro game. And again, guys, I just want to throw that out there that go check out my latest tweet and follow the instructions. You can win yourself hotkeys. We're only 1K away from 10,000 viewers, where I give out double the amount of hotkeys I was intending to. So fun times. Fun times.
Dish out all the hotkeys, Canaris.
Nom nom.
I like Taeja going for this very modern style of Terran versus Protoss. These little Marine swing around's a little bit odd, and oh, look at that! Brown snatches it without any contention. I think he's going to get real suspicious, and now it's up to Taeja to hide dem Marines, and successfully so. You know, this very modern form of Terran versus Protoss we're seeing out of Taeja. He is skipping the bunker to be able to get 2 barracks and 2 refineries right away. And if you're in Brown's shoes, you must do this answer. Triple gateway play. Because you don't know if you're up against fast gas, 2 racks, early expand. You have to do the generic response. So Taeja is able to accelerate the pace of all this tech. Now Taeja does lose money given this early command center. On the high ground. However, he's going to be going double reactor on these barracks, and they take so long to build that that's where Taeja catches up with his money.
Yeah, I really do like the observation. It's a very, very strong observation. As for now, we have Mr. Brown trying to poke at the front, but not really being able to do too much. There's quite a lot of Marines there that are going to be very pesky for him, but nice Docker control regardless. But you're right, he needs the units out from those 3 gateways to kick things off. He gets the robo facility eventually and gets the observer over there, but it's a little bit more delayed, and Taeja's going to feel kind of pretty comfortable with the situation he finds himself in with the bunkers going down.
Oh yeah, I mean, Taeja's in perfectly nice position. And if you head on over to Camp Brown, he is in the dreaded generic zone. he's really going to be forced to get a double gas at around 7 minutes. I mean, there's really no other choice. There's one going down. The reason I say this is that he's gone 3 gates before his tech choice. So suddenly all the fast tech choice plays like Blink Observer into the main or some very, very clever Blink armor timings, they're just sort of out the window. So you have to do something like get a lot of gas quite swiftly and favor something more generic like the Colossus or the Double Forge play.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the Double Forge going down. I'd be surprised, though, if he didn't get the Colossus up.
Yeah, there's normally the school of thought of you get the Robo Bay down, then there's the 2 trains from that point on. Do you go for the Colossus with range, or do you just get one Colossus out for go range and then tech into the High Templars? That is a bit of a tricky route, and it can catch some Terrans off guard, but most Terrans in like Taeja's shoes, for example, who can be fanatically aggressive, can kind of catch that out very, very easily by that stim up that I was talking about before.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, to answer your question, I do think range is a little bit better of an option on this map, just due to the formation of the terrain. And we see the Robo going down. I'm not a big fan of the one Colossus straight into other stuff on this particular map. There's just so many narrow alleyways where you honestly don't even want to just go one Colossus. You just want a lot of Colossus. They're great on this map. Yeah. But this is amazing from Taeja. Ordinarily, 8 minutes and 45 seconds is around the time when Terran has enough money to either go 2 more barracks or for a 3rd command center. Taeja has optimized his economy to be able to get those barracks 4 and 5 finished already. So Taeja is really going just absolutely bonkerville with his aggression. This is gonna be something special, Kalaris.
Yeah, this could actually catch Brown off quite heavily if he's not careful. He delayed his Robo Bay just to grab that initial Immortal out. He felt a little bit pressured, but he does have a few sentries here with some gathered energy. So will he be able to hold this off? I think he should be okay with the force fields for now, but still, Brown has to be very careful. He knows it's coming.
This is kind of a tough position for Brown. He is forced to get up those gateways 4, 5, and 6. Just to be able to have the production enough to be able to deal with it. Taeja flooding out units. This is going to be a magnificent little timing where Medevacs, Combat Shield, and the +1 attack upgrade will all be done at the same time. And all you really need to do as Taeja is delay the expansion for about 2 minutes. As long as Taeja's taking his own expansion behind. Sometimes Taeja goes into this mode where he's like, I will only ever have 2 base, and that ends up biting him in the butt.
Yeah, that's a really, really scary situation to be in, because if the Protoss on 2 base holds off the aggression, ooh, he's going to land that. Oh, the effective factory. Scary stuff. Very
nice play. We see range is not done yet. Very nice little maneuver there from Taeja. You just click on the Colossus and say, hey, does it have range? Nope. All right, sweet. Engage. Now Taeja's continuing to flood units. Again, Taeja needs to have some sort of backup plan. We see the trickle of red units in, but 2-2's already getting started. Another Colossus already popping out. Blink en route. Brown's looking perfectly fine.
He's going to stem up once again. This is so much bio that Taeja has here. Force fields go down. They're pretty good, actually. They're cornering off a lot of that Marine Force, making sure it can't close the gap with those Colossi to take them out. But he's going to take out a lot of probes in the process. They have to fall back. 8 workers have been killed off. He's going to stem up once again, trying to pursue this army. Kills the sentries. He's going to bring down one of the Colossus. And with that, Brown is in a very, very dicey situation.
And Taeja just wants that one Colossus, but he doesn't get it. Brown doing a nice job defending this. This is the scary situation you can wind up in if you try to do too much of this ground aggression. If you try to go too aggressively for those Colossus, you end up just fizzling out. And I think Brown has caused the fizzle.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive there by Brown. I mean, despite losing those Colossi, he still retained a lot of his defensive position as well as his infrastructure at his natural, which is always a nice situation to be in. And is he really going to go and expand right now? Well,
I think this is exactly what you should be doing as Brown. I mean, it's one of those things where you generally... I can talk all day about timings, but it boils down to a simple feel for the Protoss player. It should feel pretty easy to hold off that push. It felt really hard, so that was probably all the Terran player really had. There's probably nothing behind it, and this Zealot at the 3rd sees nothing. So Brown just doing some good Guardian shielding, just glancing around.
There's some SCVs coming with this as well. Taeja is so aggressive right now with this. He's only getting his third command stick behind this, but this is a lot of aggression. Taeja's so committed.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. And there it looks like an excellent little snipe off there from Brown. Brown does not have range yet, but he does have 2-2. And oh, Brown should win this battle in strides. I mean, 2-2 upgrades and Guardian Shields and 2 Immortals. I mean, this is going to be a rough uphill battle for Taeja. He does manage to take off the Colossus, but as we just see, the power of those 2-2 units is astounding. It's all going to come down to this micro from Taeja. Can he get enough units in there?
One of those Immortals waddles out as well. Brown was controlling that very well. He moved it into a location where it could get even more DPS off. It's already got 15 kills, so up to 16 now. That one Immortal alone is doing so much damage, and Taeja is forced to retreat once again.
Now, I'm not exactly sure who's ahead at this point because, again, generally you sort of do this by a feel type thing. You just say, all right, well, if it feels really hard to hold off this attack, then I know that Terran is actually kind of screwed himself, has overcommitted to this attack, and I, as a Protoss, am in fantastic shape, so I'll just expand. But then Terran swings on in with another attack with a lot of SCVs, and it does yet a little bit more damage, and you're kind of like, And I think Brown is doing the correct answer to say, all right, fine, I'll just delay my expansion and get 3-3 upgrades. So there we see +3 armor coming in. Does he have Zealot leg charge yet? He does. Wow, Brown's just done an excellent job with this. And now this is interesting. He feels behind, so we built a Dark Shrine.
But this comes back to what you were saying before, Sean, about the way in which a Protoss, or a successful Protoss, can make things work by being relentlessly defensive. Just taking everything that the Terran can throw at them, even on these 2 base, whilst he eventually will maybe try and establish a third. But, I mean, even now, Brown is actually moving into a more aggressive stance. It looks like he might just want to finish this. I don't know.
I actually think that given everything that's gone down, this is a very reasonable play. He doesn't have that long till +3, but he wants to attack before then. But I still don't like it quite as much as I like taking up an expansion. Taeja stimming, engaging, the upgrade advantage for the Protoss player is just tremendous. But Taeja does have nice micro, is funneling all these Zealots into a corner. And this is the reason why I don't like these attacks, Kalaris. It's so easy for it to go wrong.
Yeah, you've got to either have force fields or the AoE to back up all those Zealots, and they got melted. Taeja's in an immaculate position.
I mean, that just panned out bad. I mean, it's great defense, great defense, great defense, going for the upgrade lead, going for it. I was like, wow, Brown's actually held it off. He's going to go for third base, and then he just kind of, his eyes got big, as we like to say. Yeah. He saw one of those moments where he's like, oh, I can win all the chips, and he just shoved everything into the pot, and as it turned out, he didn't actually have cards.
No, Brown here. He's going to try and buy some time with some DTs, but even that, I mean, this army of Taeja's is just so formidable. 16 Marauders, 24 Marines. He even has one Viking in the sprinkling, just to say, oh, you're going to make a Colossus? Great, that's fine. I mean, there's too much here for him to deal with. Unless he gets a perfect engagement, there's no way he can kill off this Bioforce.
And there it is, swinging right on in. Taeja, known for his mid-game aggression, his incredible micro, just bursting it forward with full strides. Oh, this is such a beautiful push. Marauders at the front to absorb the damage, Marines at the back to deal it. Wow, there's the good game from Brown, and Taeja takes a compelling win.